Right. First things first. So you just had your UFC debut. Absolutely great start. Take us through the emotions of the fight.
Well, I mean, there was really no emotions in there, like you get in there and somebody wants to punch you in the face and you punch them back for a while. Um, I try not to get too emotionally involved in a fight because then you can make mistakes by getting too overly emotional in there, like trying to swing really big to capitalize on somebody. And you got to stick to the game plan no matter how emotional you get in there.
So you had a date change. You took the fight originally on short notice. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What were you doing when you got the call to take the fight?
I was actually eating Korean barbecue. I was stuffing my face, and you would think that I would put the fork down in order to because hey, you gotta cut a bunch of weight in order to make a fight. But I figured, no, the weight's gotta come off no matter what I do. So I mean it's $30 a head going to this Korean barbecue spot. So I might as well just get the last of it and cut the weight, and off. And that was no, I mean, it was an issue, but it's always an issue. No weight cut is easy. Anybody who says that is a liar, but you make weight. And unfortunately, the first one got scrapped because I ended up testing positive for COVID on the third test. So for those people that don't know, the state of Nevada has regulations. I mean, the UFC has to abide by the local regulations. These aren't UFC regulations. They have to abide by the local government's regulation on on testing and what the athletes can do. So I passed the two tests, and the last one was the one I ended up getting testing positive for COVID, and it was unfortunate. I was asymptomatic. I felt fine. The best thing I can say was probably a false positive because when I got home, I took another two tests and they were both negative. So I just went back to training, and you know, there was people saying that I was going to fight Howani on January 15th, but there was no validity to that. Only because I didn't hear any word from the UFC. He didn't either. Neither did my management. So I think it was just a rumor that everybody just ran with.
Mhm.
And then I did get I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to fight him because they were, as far as I was concerned, they were looking for a fight for him. They weren't looking for a fight for me. So it just turned out again. Hey, 2 weeks. You same opponent, same weight. I said, yeah, dude, let's do it. So January 22nd, it happened finally.
When you got to the fight itself, did anything happen in there that he did, or maybe even that you did, that was surprising?
No, I mean, I knew he was going to be strong. I knew he was going to hit hard, and I knew he was going to be hard to take out. I mean, doing research on him and watching his fights from before. Like half of his wins come by KO or TKO. So he's going to sit heavy on his strikes, and he's going to rely on his hands. And he's actually looking to counter wrestle. Um, usually because he hits people so hard that he's like, no, they're gonna, you got an option. You can either stand with them and trade with you. Usually people get the worst end of it, or they try to wrestle him. So he's ready to go as far as the counter wrestling. So I knew I had to be in there, and I knew it was gonna be tough, but everything went according to plan.
I know with the short notice, sometimes you don't have a ton of control over that with what may happen with a matchup or what have you. But did you like the stylistic matchup that they presented you?
Yeah, I thought it was a great first fight. Of course, he's one of the you know top 20, top 15, arguably top 10 guys in the UFC, and at my weight class, and he's got a lot of issues that I need to deal with. It played in my favor that his style matched up with my style so well, and we had a really good fight, and a lot of people argued that our fight was actually fight of the night. We didn't get paid as such, but hey, it was still an entertaining fight, and people are still hitting me up about how great of a fight that was.
So, moving straight into that, a lot of people are very excited about you with what was undeniably an extremely high level win, given the caliber of opponent that you faced. some might say that you're already in that position, even though you just debuted, that maybe another win could get you a top 15 opponent. Have you given that any thought? And if so, who comes to mind?
Well, I mean, of course, I figure that the UFC is going to want to take two directions at this point. Like, because I got that win, they can they can line me up with somebody who's about equal rank than me in the UFC at our weight class, just so they can keep building up my name. Seeing how I made a buzz, or they could just feed me straight to the wolves and start, hey, take these top 15 people. I'm okay with either. Sean O'Malley is right, and when he says we get paid the same no matter who we fight, so he's on the right track as far as that's concerned. The only thing we differ on as far as that goes is that I'm trying to get there, to the top of the echelon, and I can't say that I don't care about we're getting paid, because obviously I wouldn't do it for free, but I do care about getting to the top, and the more people are talking about me, I know the money will come eventually. As far as who, it don't matter to me, man. I mean, I'm not in the business of calling people, point the direction. I'll let the fans decide, and I'll let the UFC decide on who they want me to fight.
Do you have any concrete plans about when you want to get back in there? Anything you might be lined up, or any specific date that you want to fight again?
Hey, I'm a martial artist first before I'm a fighter. I stay in the gym. I just recently got back in the gym more actively, so okay with it anytime.
I wanted to ask this because it came to my mind in the lead up to this. That London card coming up soon is a big one that a lot of people have eyes on. Hypothetically, if you got a call for that and it could work, would you jump on that?
Yeah, why not? I mean, especially if the opponent makes sense, let's go for it.
To that end, could you see yourself fighting up a weight class or maybe down a weight class if you could make it at any point, if you'd like to fight enough?
Definitely not lower weight class. I think that just because you beat the scale the day before does not mean you beat the person the next day. I don't walk around as a massive 135er anyways. So, I mean, I have heard the argument, oh, what if you decided you want to make 25? I think that's a dorky move. I always kind of thought that was a weaker move anyways. It's kind of like, I get it. You want to be the bigger, stronger person, but that's not the way of martial arts. The reason why martial arts came along is because you wanted to deal with the adversity of dealing with the bigger, stronger person. Now we have trained martial artists that just want to be the bigger, stronger person. It's like, oh well, bro, you're taking the wrong route. Like, instead, get stronger. Instead, be better. Those are the harder routes to actually become stronger and to become better. But oftentimes you'll find that that's actually the better route. There's a number of cases where people from bigger weight classes, they'll go down a weight class and they don't do as well, because your brain needs that hydration, and if you're gonna if your body's not recovering in time, then there's no of course, then it just works out badly. As far as fighting up a weight class, yeah, with that, it just like that would really depend on opponent, because like I said, I am a natural 135er. I'm not a big 135er by no means, of the phrase, but fighting at 145, that sounds cool. I was gonna fight, actually a long time ago, I was gonna fight him at 145 in Korea, and the fight got scrapped the night before I was supposed to fly out, so I was really bummed about that.
That sounds like a logistical hurdle, honestly. A whole lot of no fun. As
Mhm.
far as training, what are you going to be able to talk about that we as the fans are going to see differently now that you're in the UFC and competing at this highest level? Is there anything you're going to do different?
No, I mean, I think if the recipe ain't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Stay in the gym, keep training. Every opponent is going to be different, and they're going to present different obstacles that I gotta go through. So it's not, I can't fight a guy like Marlon Moraes the same way I fought Hani Barcelos, and even if I fought Marlon Moraes, I couldn't fight him the same as I would a Kyler Phillips, or you know, or a Sean O'Malley. Like those are very different styles, and each style needs to be addressed differently.
Man, let me just say that I think he's booked for 271, but you and Kyler Phillips, and that just sounds great, man. That sounds like an absolute banger. So, last question, as far as your expectations and your goals for 2022, obviously off to a hot start. Where do you see yourself at the end of the year if all goes to plan?
Well, at the end of the year, hopefully I get 2 or 3 more. I mean, I'd like to have at least 2 more fights by the end of this year. If I can get 3 fights by the end of this year, that'd be awesome too. By the end of this year, I hope to be driving my Cutlass, you know, racing it too. So that's one of the main things. I mean, martial arts is going to be a part of my life no matter what I do, you know, whether it be competing and fighting, competing in grappling tournaments, kickboxing, it don't matter. Martial arts will always be a part of my life. So that I will stay in the gym no matter what. Um, but yeah, driving my Cutlass, fighting people, and listening to heavy metal, man.
Absolutely. That wraps up what I had for you this time around, man. Really, once again, appreciate you being on. Thank you so much, and best of luck in the future.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.